Inclusion is how we enact diversity and how we move towards equity. If we know we have a diverse pool of clients and potential clients who undoubtedly have to navigate ongoing life stressors, just like regular life stressors, and then in addition to that, negotiate power structures, if they're anywhere on the spectrum other than the highest power level. So they're walking around life stressed and potentially disempowered. And we're not addressing that, then we're not really living up to our potential for health impact. So how can we best serve them? How do we train all these wonderful unicorns? Well, first it's about creating spaces, inviting enough for people to even want to be in. And then 2, embracing and celebrating their unique unicorn selves. I will hold my pee until I'm either going to explode or I can find a place that seems somewhat friendly, friendly enough. The same type of thing happens with clients. For me as a trainer, I want to have people coming to me not only because they're desperate, they're sick and unhappy, and then there's nowhere else to go. That client only stays long enough to get rid of the pain. Then you'll lose them the second they find something remotely better. I want to have clients coming to me because they believe they're going to be safe in my presence, safe enough to take on the challenge of becoming their best selves, right? Over time. And psychological safety is a foundation of excellence. Simon Sinek talks about a lot about that, which I would definitely encourage you to look up. So what are some tangible ways to support inclusion? Let's look at that. Number 1, representation. Ideally, fitness companies are hiring trainers, staff, coaches that represent different backgrounds to reflect their diverse clientele, but also their potential client base. Having a diverse team not only helps clients feel more comfortable and understood, but also brings a broad range of perspectives and experiences into the fitness space. Diversity can be a catalyst for innovation. If you are a hiring manager, we want to remember that not all diversity is visible. So ensuring we interview for all kinds of diversity is important. If your company is small or not particularly diverse, you can always engage with guest speakers. So inviting individuals who have particular experience or expertise, particularly those from marginalized communities, is another way to provide education and support in a safe, inclusive environment. This can be in person, but with the power of social media, you can always conduct and record an interview or conversation that you can play later and that will educate and inspire. For instance, maybe you develop a podcast and you call out to diverse trainers and clientele to have a conversation about diversity, what they've learned or what they would like other trainers to know about working with somebody with their needs. That could actually be a really cool project. And then incorporating diverse representation in marketing materials such as, your brochures, your websites, your social media posts, featuring individuals of various ages, genders, body sizes, and races, abilities, engaging in fitness. This imagery is super powerful and sends the message that fitness is for everyone and your fitness space is for everyone. And then one that I'm guessing many of you do is to create inclusive fitness classes. So that's accommodating a wide range of abilities and fitness levels to encourage everybody to participate and send the message that everybody is welcome. It's possible many of those ideas weren't that new to you, but it's also possible that a lot of this information is new, particularly for people who have not had to think about their identity much. It might even seem overwhelming, or for others it might seem unnecessary. It's hard to tell because we all come from such different places. For anyone at the beginning of their journey, my single biggest recommendation would be by starting to integrate new neural inputs into your 12,000-year-old psychology and expanding your perspective. This is the beginning of disrupting bias. Though we're trying not to spend so much time online, and I get that, social media and online resources can be great for this. By purposefully seeking out voices outside of your typical network, or following diverse fitness professionals, or even people in other industries, and engaging with their content that challenges your assumptions, you can really broaden your understanding of different experiences and help change your brain to promote inclusivity in your fitness practice. Seeing the faces, hearing the challenges, learning directly from people who experience them, that's part of the client-centered approach you can take. It's super powerful. Which leads me to the next piece. No one person has the answers for everyone in any one group. A truly client-centered approach is about maintaining curiosity about your individual clients' perspectives and experiences. So once you're working with your clients, it's a significant practice to continue to ask questions and use active listening to relate to their goals and their concerns and their feedback. It's a great way for maximizing inclusion, and it gives you the chance to recognize and respect their expertise in their own bodies, like one client at a time, I recall this client. I was training a client who was living with MS. He was my first otherly abled client. And of course, I wanted to do a great job, right? So I tried to do a ton of research and come off as an expert. And one day, while attempting to get him to do an exercise protocol that, was good for MS, he politely said to me, "Oh, that sounds nice, but I don't have that kind of MS." I was kind of like taken aback. And then I caught his eyes and his slight smirk, and we both started laughing. After that, it was a true collaboration between sort of my general fitness knowledge and his ability to tell me what he really needed to work on or how it worked for his body. I learned a ton through that client, and we had a good time working together. Sometimes showing you're not the expert is a great way to build a rapport. So if we don't become aware of that age-old neuroprogramming and then accept that it's there and work towards intercepting it, there's a greater chance of moving towards discriminatory action. To put it another way, if we aren't intentionally including, we'll be unintentionally excluding. So how do you train a unicorn? Number one, reflect on your own identity, your positionality. Consider the categories of you, consider your privileges and your biases, and foster some self-awareness about what that means and how that could play out in your day-to-day interactions. Challenge any assumptions that come up. Question preconceived notions and stereotypes. Know they are there because our minds are mostly on autopilot, and to help combat that, expand your neural inputs through new information. Seek diverse perspectives and knowledge, and engage with resources or workshops or online communities that center around inclusivity. And finally, stay curious. Stay curious about your clients' perspectives, actively listen, continue to ask questions, gather feedback, and really empower your clients to be experts in their own lives and their own experience and share it with you. So we have discussed quite a bit of information over the course of this time together, and I wanted to add one more piece of information that comes predominantly out of the work of Angela Duckworth on growth mindset. So we know supporting clients to feel, look, be better usually results in more happy clients, and more happy clients usually supports the opportunity to have even more clients. So it's good for the bottom line. We got that. Something else that's worth knowing is that the research shows a correlation between inclusiveness and subjective well-being, meaning having a flexible perspective, an open mind to learning about diversity, how others see the world and themselves in it, leads to a greater overall sense of well-being for the coach. That is, being open about diversity and inclusion, expanding your mind to understand people's points of view, actually changes your brain to have less rigid thinking overall and a more innovative mindset overall. That's impactful. That transcends one-on-one interaction into your greater career and your whole life. Inclusion is healthy for everyone. As a fitness and health promotion practitioner, that's something I can get behind. And that's a wrap on this presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to view it. I had a lot of fun putting it together. If you have any comments, questions, or want to connect in the name of diversity or inclusion, please feel free to reach out to me at Shift One. Life is a journey. We can't do everything, but we can shift one thing and maybe that'll change everything. Take good care. Bye now.